Hello, it's me again. You know me. Anyway, it's been a break for a couple of days. It's been nice to kind of just take a break from the van. Small stuff we've got to do, as I said in the last video. I've got maybe a couple small trim places. There's some plate thing on the bottom there before you get to the driver's cab. And Friday, we're going to try to get the cabinets worked on. As I said, solar panels are in and those brackets. That's going to take a whole day because I really, when I mount those, that van's got to be parked for a day to let that stuff set. You know, it's the VHB tape. We got to get that terminology right, I swear. I keep calling it ABH. VHB tape. I'm pretty sure of that one. But anyway, you'll know when I'm doing it because I will clarify that quickly. But anyway, that's got to sit for a couple days. Battery is on the order, and I'll tell you what I did. The company I was going with the 300 amp hour battery, it seemed like it was cool, you know, and it was going to go with it and pull the trigger. But I started reading between Amazon and Google, and it's just too much turmoil with the customer service and some bad things that so many people, I haven't heard very little positive reviews about this, and I just didn't want to take a chance, especially when people said there's not even a warranty guarantee in the package or nothing. So what I'm going to do is back up and go with the 200 amp hour Ames battery. It's like $1,500. And the cool thing about this is I was going to spend $3,000 on that 300 amp hour battery. Here's the cool part. That Ames battery is 200 amp hours for $1,499. If I want another, I may just go with the second battery if I have to. I did not want to do that, but if I want to see what 200 amp hours gets me on that end, and I've got another 100 amp hours on my Apex. You probably can't see that. Apex is so cool. I love that thing, and it is such a workhorse. And I'm going to talk further about that. I want to do a video about that and talk about my experience with Energy. They are a great company to deal with. I mean, hands down, they were fantastic. And I'll get to that later. But I want to see what the 200 amp hours gets me, because I can always get, for another $1,500, $3,000, I get 400 amp hours. I can just run two of those batteries and I'm good. And you know, why not? You know, getting a 400 amp hours versus a 300 for the same money I would be spending. So I'm just going to get the 200 right now and go with that, and I get that thing wired. When I get the panels on the roof and everything done, I got a little challenge with trying to get a EC8 connector back on that when I get the long cable through that thing with the cable gland on I'm not in the van, I can't point, but where the camera is up top and there's a tail light, I'm going to come through there and I'll have a cable, what they call a cable gland, that'll go in. It's waterproof, and tighten that cable and seal it. And it'll come out about 1.5 feet, 2 feet to the roof. And I will be able to mount down those cables and get everything tied together and heat shrinked. I'm going to have to do that, you know, one at a time. But before I get up there and do all this stuff, I'm going to take my Apex and I'm going to test the panels. I can put a meter to it, but that's your best test. That Apex the panels were suited for that. Wired parallel for an MPPT charge controller. So that Apex is going to tell me I can do one at a time, put each panel, and it's going to tell me what I'm getting when I get some good sun. And I believe tomorrow is that day. Like that. Going to be able to put each panel in, and then what I'm going to do is put one panel in, see what it's getting, and I'm going to put the next and make sure they're charging in increment, and the wattage is going up in the panels, and I see a progression. So it's one thing to do individually, but in parallel, to make sure everything's wired, you want to make sure they all are in sync and they work together and they're giving that unit or whatever battery are going to a charge. So be that it may, these panels are going to work for that Ames battery, or it's going to work for the Apex. So I went with the Ames. They're a very reputable company. Ames, if anybody knows that Ames and Renogy and these companies, they're very reputable and good. There's a 10-year warranty on that battery for the guaranteeing the 100% discharge or recharge rate, or I forgot how they deem it. But anyway, there's a 10-year warranty on that battery. It has a great battery monitoring system in it. I was a little unsure. I tried to read further on what that battery itself on that other company I was looking at. I don't even want to mention the name of the company, because it's not that I had a bad experience with them. I don't know. With all I don't want to refer them, and if I don't know anything about them, I don't want someone to say, man, I went and bought that battery and you mentioned them. I'm like, well, I didn't recommend it. Come on, man. Simple as that. So anyway, it's just one of those things that, you know, I gotta I think I had to kind of use my judgment on that. So, and I'm okay with it because, man, I don't know what 200 amp hours is like with lithium. 200 amp hours in this thing is these AGMs. You're barely getting 100 amp hours, and you know, with AGMs and gels and lead acid batteries, especially those types, most of you know that battery could just be sitting there, nothing connects to it, and it'll just lose charge. I mean, literally, that's just what they do. But I mean, you got to have efficiency with what I'm doing, so it's going to be great. Anyway, I'm just doing things around the RV here, getting things in totes. I'm going to start getting ready when I transfer into that van here in a couple weeks. I mean, we're a week and a half, 2 weeks off from that, folks. I'm telling you. Unless there's some hold up with the electrical or some hold up with the cabinets, which I don't foresee, I'm looking to be in that. And I'm going to have this one empty, cleaned up, ready to go, ready to show. So, hoping, man, we got to get this RV sold soon. Springtime's coming. People start pulling the trigger and trying to buy RVs. And I think that, I mean, whoever buys this RV is getting a great RV. This thing is amazing. I love this RV. It's just, there are things that I don't want, and maybe more than I want. And I think the most important is nothing negative really about this RV. Just because maybe I don't like propane fridges, it doesn't mean it's bad. It works great. It's just, you know, I just wanted something else. And the thing is I wanted to do this with the van from the beginning, and I was unsure. Just, you know, and I think it was a smart move to get the RV to see what I wanted in an RV or a van build verse, and I think it was great. I think it was the best piece of advice I got out of 4 or 5 years of solid, you know. I mean, I've been looking at the idea of that since 2004, believe it or not. When I first saw those Road Trek vans, I was so fascinated with them. I'm like, God, you could live in that. Those Road Treks are so cool. I had an ex-girlfriend who was looking at me like I was crazy. She goes, there's no way. You ain't going to live in that. There's no way you could do that. I said, yeah, you can. You could do that. At the time, I was just thinking, it's enough storage for my music gear. And, you know, and technology has obviously progressed in a way that you got solar and just, you've got killer amount of options to live and however you want. And plus, technology and music's changed. I don't have to have all this outboard gear and crazy stuff, so I don't have to worry about where I'm going to do that. I can do it right there. And speaking of that right there, this setup, minus a computer and all, my setup for my recording stuff is going to go into the van. It's going to be bolted to that desk. So everything will be there. I'll just have the computer with me, so when I go in there, it's ready to go. So anyway, I'm babbling a little bit here, but cool things are progressing. Not much for the last couple of days, but more to come on that one. And thank you guys so much for watching. Excuse me. Probably not a lot of you watching right now, but you know, I'll talk as 100,000 people are watching, because someone told me, said, you may wake up one morning and you got 50 to 75,000 subscribers. You never know. I mean, I'm just talking to the masses. I mean, people will watch these videos. I mean, people see it. It runs through YouTube. So, but anyway, I'm just sharing my experience on this, and it's been real cool. I'm loving it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks. Have a great one.